Devotees. Well, another season's in the bag, and we are very close to season 10. Wow, season 10. Like 10 seasons of Leowolf TV. There was many times I wanted to give up and just stop making these videos because I just felt like I just didn't have enough support. But you know what? I'm like, even if it's just a couple of y'all, I'm like, that's enough support for me to keep going and keep making these videos. And this is the best of season 9. We're going to look back at what was my picks for the best of Leowolf TV season 9. Now, if you enjoy this video and you would like to see what I didn't care for, like what are my least favorite episodes I did this season, because there's a couple. I mean, like, just because I post it doesn't mean it's, I think it's perfect. I think it's good, I think it's great, or I think it's, I'm like, well, this is passable, I'm like, somebody requested this, so let me do it. But if you want me to do that, if you want me to make a list of the least, great, or least good, or whatever, or that I like the least, however you want to call it, the worst. I don't want to call it the worst because I don't want to say they're worst or bad. But anyway, okay, but you get my point. Leave it in the comment section if you'd like me to make a list of what I consider to be the worst of Leowolf TV Season 9. There, I said it. Anyway, now this picks, I said it's going to be my picks, but it's also from what other people have told me that they enjoyed this season. And I'm not going to make a list as in like numeric form or anything like that, or least to greatest or anything like that on here. It's just going to be, we're just going to run through what are the most memorable from friends and my family members and myself. So with all that being said, let's get on with it. Okay, so where do I want to start off? Alright, well, I guess I'll start off with the music videos and just kind of work my way back. Right off the top of my head, my favorite thing that I did this year, well, this season, I keep saying year, but this season has been the music videos, as I've stated. And the one off the top of my head that I think of that I just, like, I love so much, it came out so well, was the one I did for Arwen and Aragorn, because I wanted to do one for Lord of the Rings week. I was doing Lord of the Rings week where I did a spoof music video and all that stuff, but I wanted a good song to go with them, and I'm like, well, yeah, I gotta do something with them. And Sarah sent me a couple of songs, and one of the songs that she sent me for them, and she's like, this could probably work for them. And it was a country song, and I listened to it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this works very freaking well. Oh my gosh, this, if you know the story, if you know the characters, and you listen to the lyrics of this song, everything just ties together. And that's what I love to do with these music videos, as you probably have heard me talk about already before. If you've watched my behind the scenes videos, which are now on Patreon. Either way. But yeah, so I really enjoyed this one, and whenever I think back to my music videos, I love this song, and now I can't help but think of these clips to this song. So yeah, this was just beautiful all around. It's one of my favorite ones. Okay, now the next one I'm going to talk about is technically two of them, because when I think about the ones I worked on, the reboot and the new one stand out to me. And by that I mean, like, okay, for Avatar, back whenever I first started making these videos, long before I ever got on YouTube, I had did a video for Avatar, Neytiri and Jake using the song from Pocahontas, If I Never Knew You. Well, I tried to do that thing like twice before on this channel, and a third time's the charm. I did the third remaster of it this year, and I was very happy with it. But it got me thinking, why don't I try to use the end credits version of the song? The one that's sung by those two celebrities who I can't think of right now. Gosh, I can't think of them right now. I feel so bad, but they're in the music video. The names of the singers I'm talking about, they're in there. Anyway. The reboot, really, at first, I didn't really care for the reboot version of the song. I guess you can call it the album version or soundtrack version of the song, because there's one that's sung by Mel Gibson and the voice actress who sings for Pocahontas and talks for her. They did one version, then there was like these two celebrities who did like the soundtrack version of it or something like that, where it was like much longer. or not really much longer, but it was whatever. Anyway, boy, I'm flubbing this. I apologize. So I enjoyed the reboot. After a while, I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I did. And then I did one for Quaritch because I thought that I think he has good potential for an arc. Now, even though my love for Avatar is dead because the third movie just killed it. I mean, like, if you want to hear my opinion on that, go to my Patreon and watch my review of Avatar. Now, I did a review of it, and then I did a revisit of the third movie, because after I went back and watched it again, I wanted to give, like, my thoughts on, like, okay, I just watched it again. Is my opinion changed or anything like that? So go check out both those videos if you want to see my thoughts on Avatar now, because I originally loved the first movie. Second movie was okay. Third movie killed it. Killed it for me. Just it's dead. It's dead, Jim. I'm done. Anyway, but I was very hopeful for Quaritch when I made this video, and it came out so well. So I really enjoyed this video, and I still think that it still gives me hope or whatever of what could have been. So it was a lot of fun, but these two really stand out. Out of the three I made the remake. I did a remastered one, and then I did a reboot using a different version of the song, and then I did another brand new one, which was for Quaritch. So out of the three, these are the two that I really enjoy the most out of those three. Yes, I still enjoy these music videos, and yes, I still had fun spoofing the movie or whatever. And yes, I still enjoy the first and second movie okay enough. Third movie, I detest. I can't stand it. Like I said, you want my full thoughts on it? I'm not going to keep you forever on this. Full thoughts on it, go watch my review on Patreon, but you'd be helping me out if you did so, too. But anyway, alrighty, moving on. Oh boy, this one was kind of hard to narrow down as far as, like, my favorites ones, because I did a lot of dinosaur content at the beginning of this season, so I enjoyed every single one of these music videos that I worked on for the dinosaurs. But if I had to say ones that I really enjoyed, it would have to be the ones you see on the screen right now, which is, I love the Triceratops one. I love the Brachiosaurus one, especially because that's my niece. That's one of her favorite ones. She likes the Brachiosaurus one. She likes the Spinosaurus one. And it's mainly because of the song choices, because we found a lot of these kid-friendly dinosaur songs from various TV outlets, Netflix shows, etc., etc. And we just fell in love with them. We're occasionally we'll just be like, Spinosaurus, roar, or Brachiosaurus has a Brachiosaurus, he has a long tail. And then, let me be frank, I'm built like a tank, 'cause I'm an Ankylosaurus. Oh yeah, my name's T-Rex. Yeah, I like that one. I like the Ankylosaurus one, Triceratops, and Brachiosaurus. Those have got to be the favorite ones. And as far as the other ones go, I'll probably put those in the next video where I talk about my least favorite videos of this season. So, alright, let's move on. Here's another one that when I made it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this was perfect. I was going to try to find a song to go with it, but whenever I went looking, somebody actually had done a original song for, they put lyrics to the original, Davy Jones music box, which was pretty freaking cool. And it was, as if, Calypso is singing to Davy Jones, which is very romantic. I love romance. I love it. As you probably already know by my Valentine's music videos, which, don't worry, that's coming up. Anyway, this is going to be a lengthy video. I do apologize, but hey, we're recapping season 9, and it's been a long season. Anyway, this one really was great. I love it because I love Calypso and Davy Jones. I love their little romance that they have. I just hate, that, it just ended, but, it could end no other way. They were two very corrupt, very bad people, that, quite honestly, they hadn't earned a happy ending. They earned the ending that they got, the bad ending. But, this music video that I made, this was kind of like a what if, like, oh man, like like, what if they really tried to, you know, be better people? Like what if Davy Jones, you know, really gave in and tried to be, like, opened up his heart, you know, once again to her, you know, and what if, you know, she admitted she was wrong, you know, for, let's be honest, just flat out cheating on him. You know, like, what if she finally admits that, you know, admits I was wrong, you know, I've always loved you, you know, I made a huge mistake, you know, it was always a mistake, you know, what I did to you, and I can never forgive myself. Can you forgive me, though? You know, something like that. This could have been a beautiful romantic story, and I'm sure there's fan fictions, you know, out there that do similar things where they do get together and live happily ever after, which would have been so beautiful. But, you know, I don't want to drone on this forever, but yeah, I really enjoyed this video, and the person who sang this song did a great job. Now, I prefer this version. She did do a duet with another guy who does that throat style singing, is the best way I can call it. That really, and that kind of Viking-esque type singing, which I detest. I can't stand that type of music. It's annoying, and it's not singing, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's subjective. I understand that, and do what you want, you know, sing how you want, but I just don't care for it. I think detest was really a strong word, but I just don't really care for it. Anyway, but alright, let's move on. Okay, this one I don't have too much to say on it, because if you followed me for a while, then you know I love the Fantastic Four. Now, okay, first off, right out the gate, Fantastic Four, first steps. The short answer is I thought it was okay, just okay. But moving on from that, I really enjoyed this adaptation of the Fantastic Four. People can say what they want, reviews can say what they want. I still really enjoy this movie. I grew up with it, and as a kid, I could still remember being a kid, sitting on my grandparents' couch, watching like their basic cable television, and like seeing the commercial and the thing busting through the wall. It's clobbering time, and I was so freaking excited. And no, I was not disappointed when I watched the movies. I watched the movies and enjoyed them. They were great. At that point, okay, I will say at that point, I had gotten used to basically the superhero movies being modernized and, you know, trying to be cool. Like, they were a little too cool to acknowledge who they were and act how they were and dress like they were. So I was ready for anything, you know, like Doctor Doom being, you know, okay, and like him just becoming metallic, which I didn't know too much at the time. I probably knew a lot more than I remember now, because I've done forgotten or whatever, but like, I just remember loving this movie, and I love the family dynamic of the Fantastic Four. The loyalty between the four of them. That's what is important about the Fantastic Four. And no, I don't buy into the newer comics or any of the comics where they have Sue cheating on Reed, or Reed is too neglectful, or, you know, Ben Grimm is too much of a hothead and he kills somebody, or Johnny is too much of a man whore, you know, basically. I'm like, no, that's not the Fantastic Four I choose to focus on. And, you know, if that's the Fantastic Four to you and you don't like it, you know, I'm like, fine, I understand that, but those people that I just described are not who's in this movie here. You know, I enjoyed it just fine for what it was. And because Human Torch was the Human Torch. Everyone looked the parts. Jessica Alba did just fine. I mean, like, yeah, if I could have recast her as somebody else, I probably maybe would have, but I don't know if I really would have, honestly, at the time. I can't really commit to that idea because I think she did just fine. So this music video, No Holds Barred, just was perfect. Like, the lyrics were just, as I was listening to it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got to put this to the Fantastic Four. I could just put the scenes in my head right now already. I can already weave it like a quilt, like I say to everybody. I'm like, I weave it like a quilt. I'm like, if I start sewing it as I'm listening to the lyrics, oh, it's getting made. I don't care if it doesn't. I don't care if I have a spoof ready to go for the theme or anything like that. I'm like, I'm just making this music video. It's happening. So I really love the Fantastic Four, and I love this adaptation. So I hope you guys enjoyed this music video as well. But with all that being said, we're going to move on to the next one. Okay, this one's a little hard to talk about because I have to mention my poor little dog that passed away several years, and I mean several years ago now. Well, not several years ago, but at least a few years ago now, and it's I've I still love my dog. I'm not trying to dig up some old emotional thing, but whenever I made this music video, I'm like, it just got me thinking about my dog. I'm like, and it just I miss my dog, man. I'm like, I miss my dog, my little Benji. Um, I'm like, I miss him a lot, and I'm on the verge of getting like another dog at some point. I'm like, we're trying to find the exact one I want. Because uh, I'm like, if I get me another dog, it's got to be a little. If I get me another dog, it's got to be a little dachshund, a little long-haired dachshund that's brindle color. In case you don't know brindle, that basically means where the dog is mostly gray and it has like those black and brown spots on it. And I want to call him Pepperjack because the black spots look like he's peppered. So I'm like, that'd be really adorable. I'm like, I'd love to get one, but we've been trying to find one like that for a couple years now. I'm close to getting me one, but as of this recording, I mean, I haven't got him yet. But anyway, but back to the music video. I use "When You're the Best of Friends." I might because for some reason it just spoke to me, and I was trying to come up with a music video for this, and I'm like, wonder if I could do this. Can I make this work? And as I was putting it together, it all just started falling into place, and it came out so beautiful. I'm like, I love it. I'm like, I showed it to a couple of my friends at the time, and they really loved it. They're like, wow, man, that was great. And I'm like, they were just like, that was good. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm like, it came out so well. I'm like, and then like the ending, whenever it's like, so you're the best of friends, like right here at the end. Oh my gosh, I get teared up every time I think about it. I mean, every time I hear, not think about it, every time I hear it, I should say. Oh my gosh, Benji, Daddy still loves you and he misses you. But all right, we're gonna move on. All right, shifting gears a bit here. Sorry to bring y'all down there for a minute, but all right, the Addams Family week. Oh boy, I had fun with this one. My favorite one out of all three has to be the Gordon one. Wow. Oh man. There was a short that I think I discovered. Yeah, it was through TikTok. There was a short that somebody was doing where they were playing the song "Gordon Never Learned to Play" from the Mother Goose Story Adventures or something like that. It's on my Rumble page if you want to go watch that movie or whatever. Go check it out. Go ahead. Leowolf TV movies. LWTV movies is what it's under. Anyway, no. So I'm like, that's like the best song out of the entire thing, like the most memorable one, especially. And it's a big hit. A lot of people still remember it as like this weird fever dream where this guy is put in shackles and hanging from the wall while this masked rock band is singing to him. Anyway, okay, but it says Gordon, and I'm like, oh, I could put that with Gordon. Well, Fester in the first movie because he thinks he's a man called Gordon, because he's got amnesia. So I'm like, oh, that could work so freaking well. So I put it together, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it was a hit. People loved it. The next one was Morticia and Gomez's music videos. Naturally, this was hard to pick between the two of them because one I really loved. The second one, I thought it worked very well, and I still enjoy it. The one that's As the World Falls Down, I think is so beautiful, and it fits with the 90s, Addams Family, Morticia, Raul Julia, and Angelica Houston, I think. Man, forgive me. Man, my mind is not with me today. But yes, those movies are magical. People remember them. People love them. They will transcend time. They're one of the greatest adaptations of Morticia and Gomez ever. Arguably the best, but actually I would have to say the number one best version of Gomez and Morticia had to come from the original TV show, the black and white live action show. That was beautiful. And the song Old Souls, I'm like, that's perfect for Morticia and Gomez, because how many times have this couple been adapted into live action or, animated features and stuff? I'm like, so Old Souls really fits with this couple. So that's why I chose to use that on them. And As the World Falls Down, I thought it was a beautifully romantic song, and it worked very well with Morticia and them. But all in all, I could not pick between these three. These three, I definitely had a lot of fun, and they're definitely they're definitely on my faves list of season 9. Indian in the Cupboard is now and forever one of my favorite childhood movies growing up. I love that movie. My family and I, we still quote Boo-Hoo Boone the cowboy. We still quote his lines like constantly. We still love Little Bear as an actor. Oh my gosh, his real name is Lightfoot. He's also a musician. I'm like, we love. Oh my gosh, we just love this movie. And it may have been, maybe it was a cheap song. It was too easy to use the song Four Hands. Four Hands are what Four Hands are for, because that did come from another Native American series, which was the Greatest American Stories, William Bradford story, and it was about Squanto and William Bradford and the first Thanksgiving. And the song that they play in there is what Four Hands are for. Basically about coming together and, becoming a team. Like we can do more with 4 hands than we can with 2. And it's such a beautiful song, and I think it really fit with this video, mainly because, it's the we're not so different, you and I, that sort of thing. And also, we're better as allies than we are enemies, that tried and true, lesson. And go check this movie out. It's on my Rumble page. It's called The Indian in the Cupboard. Go check this movie out. It's wonderful. It's charming. It's beautiful. It's, to quote a phrase, it's 90s beauty imagination in a film. It's just all around wonderful. The music video itself, I had a lot of fun doing. I enjoyed it. It makes me feel really good when I listen to this song, and now I got this awesome music video to go with it. It's just all around wonderful. This next one I really enjoyed. Well, I've enjoyed all these. I need to stop saying that like I didn't enjoy the previous ones. I enjoyed them all, obviously. This one, though, was perfect for the season because, it felt like this year we just needed something to kind of, remind us, something to really touch us, like warm our hearts during the Christmas season. And fun fact, I had never actually watched The Miracle on 34th Street, the remake, the 90s remake. I never watched it. And I watched it this year, and, I watched it this past Christmas, and I really enjoyed it. Oh my gosh, I freaking enjoyed it. It was really beautiful. It was really good. And, I had to put I Believe in Santa Claus to this song, to the clips of my favorite versions of Santa Claus, which is this one, the 80s one with Dudley Moore, Tim Allen. I had to use my favorite versions of Santa Claus because I'm like, this it's not just for everybody, it's also for me too, and a lot of times I like to think that, sometimes whenever I bring up an old memory, if somebody remembers it or if somebody can relate with it, I like that I can remind them of those good memories, such as like Santa Claus and such. But yes, as far as believing in Santa Claus, I do believe in Santa Claus. Yes, because I believe that, he is a real spirit. I believe that the spirit, just kind of moves, the spirit of Christmas, and it's in the hearts and souls of everybody, and people just need to, let that out at the right time. And I just think this was really needed. You know, I'm like, this was just really needed this year.
For what is happiness but dreams, and do they all come true? Look at me and tell me, son, what is real to you?
Arthur and the Invisibles is a fun story and is a fun series to look back on, such as like the villains and the romance in the story. And this was actually a request from a friend of mine named Caden, who wanted to do he wanted more from the series, because like me and like a lot of fans of the series, we were not content with just the 3 movies. The 3 movies felt more like 2 movies, because the second movie feels more like filler, and then like the third movie is the ending of the second movie. You know, it's just, and plus, you know, we all wanted him and Selenia to get together. You know, so it just, we all wanted those things, and that's why I made the romantic music videos for Arthur and Selenia, which I will talk about in a second. I don't have too much to mention on those, but I really want to focus on this one, because this was actually a nice surprise. Lou Reed, who did the singing voice for a character called Mock in a movie called Rock and Rule, was the voice of Maltazard in the second and third movie of Arthur and the Minimoys, Arthur and the Invisibles. There's a difference. Go watch my review on that. I left that review on my YouTube channel, so you can go check that out. Anyway, it's also in the playlist of Arthur and the Invisibles playlist on my channel. Anyway, Maltazard, I thought was kind of cool that, you know, he was in this, and I was going to be using a Lou Reed song from the movie Rock and Roll called Triumph, and he's singing in there, and I'm like, boy, does this feel, this couldn't be more appropriate if it tried. And then I found out that his son in the movie, Darkos, is actually voiced by Iggy Pop, who was the speaking voice of Mock in the movie Rock and Roll, while Lou Reed was the singing voice. So I'm like, boy, this is kind of a reuniting. This is kind of a reunion of these 2 rock legends. You know, I'm like, this is this is kind of cool. I'm like, wow. I said it couldn't be more appropriate if it tried, and it said, "Hold my beer." So I'm like, okay. So this came out really well. This was a nice treat. And Caden loved it. He wasn't expecting it, and I told him all about it, and he goes, "Oh wow!" It's like, I did not know that. I'm like, I didn't either until I made it. So I'm really glad that you suggested it. Thank you. And shifting over to the reboot music video for Arthur and Selenia. Now, when it came to Arthur and the Minimoys with Selenia and Arthur music video, I should say, the first version I did, I used the song Eternity, and it came out pretty good, but you know, it wasn't, there was some fine tweaking I still needed to do to it, so I remastered it. But as I did that, I'm like, I want to do the reboot. I'm like, at the time I had did 2 music videos because I couldn't choose between the songs. So I called the I Will Always Be With You, I called that one the reboot because I couldn't choose. And I did a remastered version of the reboot, and it really came out well. And I think that both songs just really fit the characters, because from them singing about, you know, I'm gonna love you for eternity, and then the other song saying I will always be with you no matter where you go, I will always be with you, it's perfect, you know. Now I will point something out here in case if anybody, you know, is in the comments, you know, going like, why isn't he bringing that part up? Alright, in the movie, Arthur is I believe a 12-year-old boy at the time, and Selenia is, you know, she's much older in their land. But the thing is that whenever he goes down there, she says that, you know, he's the same age as her. He's like, because I'm 12 in my world, how old would that make me here? And she tells him that, you know, about the same age as me. So if she was to be a human, she would actually be closer to his age, which I'm like, okay. I mean, that kind of makes sense. I mean, that helps. What didn't help was the fact that she was voiced by Madonna, a much older woman, and she was the love interest for this young boy, and people just couldn't really get past that, and I could totally understand why. But, you know, the sequels had Selena Gomez, you know, voicing the character, and she was still pretty young at the time, so it worked out. But I digress. You know, I still wish, you know, we can get a proper fourth, third, whatever you want to call it, movie where they get together. But that's just me being a romantic. Anyway, but yeah, I loved these music videos. I had a ball making them, and I loved the series, and nothing more to say. Okay, well, my first recording kept getting messed up. For some weird reason, it kept coming out distorted. So, the Shrek music video was a lot of fun. It was my second attempt at doing a video that I had done before I got on YouTube, and it was only like a few minutes. It wasn't the whole song, and it came out wonderfully. I was really tickled at how I was able to switch out Mrs. Potts and Chip for the babies and Fiona, you know, to make it look like they were saying what Chip and what Miss Potts were saying. So that was nice. Plus, there's the parallel, naturally, Beauty and the Beast, Fiona and Shrek, you know, that whole thing. That came out a lot. That came out fun. That was definitely a treat. Technically, this wasn't a Valentine's music video, but technically it was. Moving on to the other animated Valentine's music video I did this year, using Aladdin, Jasmine, and Belle and the Beast, using the song, ironically, from Cinderella, the play, and the Brandy play, for those who don't know the difference or anything. I didn't use the Brandy version of the song because I just felt like the woman who sang this one had a much stronger voice, and I just loved how much it just sounded prettier to me. I'm like, Brandy's got a beautiful voice, but I just don't like hearing her sing this way. I just didn't care for her version of it, but I like Brandy's other songs, like Sitting Up in My Room and things like that. But this music video also involves a test, an experiment, if you will, of the new Valentine's Day intro. It was a original song that I was gonna write, originally, but I could never really sit down and come up with better lyrics, you know, to go with it, because it was just such a repetitive beat that I just didn't think it was going to be a good enough song. So I just kind of went with the main chorus. I'm like, you know what, maybe I could just turn that into an intro or something, and it just kind of became a potential intro for Valentine's Day, in case if I ever want to change it up. I don't think I'm going to do that, because I really enjoy the current intro that I do for it, and this one it was nice. It was a nice little change, but I don't know. What do y'all think? I think I might keep it as a nice novelty. Like I may bring it out on a rare occasion or something, but if I'm just doing like two couples or something, like two animated couples or something, I might do it that way. Maybe, you know, I'm like, we'll see. My sister's music video, which was, she chose the couples and she chose the song, was the Only You Can Love Me This Way. The four couples we chose, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't really like all four couples. I don't really believe in their love necessarily. I like Grimm, the characters from Grimm, the ones that are in there. I don't remember their names right now. Dadgummit. Anyway, just clue me in the comment section. And I liked them. They were strong. I liked the Bridgerton couple, even though it took them forever to get together. Once they got together, I loved it. Oh, it was great. Fantastic. But the Nashville couple, it seemed sweet at first, but, you know, I learned more about the series. They break up, you know, and then, like, they end up getting back together again after all that sweet stuff. And I just don't care for them that much. The NCIS one was good, but that was another one that went on way too freaking long. before they officially got together. You know, it was one of them things where it's like way too long building up, like they have feelings, only to finally get them together, only to break them up, and then they got back together. Just ugh. So I mean, it was, even though that one was still good, I still like it. It's just, I definitely have to say 2 out of 4 I like. And the song choice was really beautiful. It's really nice. It's Keith Urban. You know what? You can't go wrong with Keith Urban. Let me see. Mine that I made this year, which was the Love We Made. That song was chosen by my sister. That was one of her favorite songs, and I've heard it briefly, but I like the song now. I really like it. And I used couples in here that I didn't realize I hadn't used yet, like George of the Jungle and Ursula, and Knight's Tale. I didn't realize I didn't use those couples, so I'm like, dang, I need to get on the ball. What's wrong with me? So I put them in it, and I loved the fast pace of the editing and everything, the composition of the clips, linking up with some of the lyrics. You know, they were syncing up just right, like, we've been burning both ends, keeping the lights on. You know, I pulled it off. I wanted to make it look like, you know, like she's a tired mom, you know, trying to keep it all together, and he's trying to keep it all together by working his job and everything, you know. I wanted to really elaborate that, you know, and I wanted to make it look like the characters were saying the lyrics, because that's what really drives it. That's how you really that's how it really stays with you. And I think I really nailed it with this one. This one and my sister's video, because this one was more upbeat, and it was like, yeah, I was like, rocking, very good feels. My sister's was more the same, but it was more of the calmer variety. It was more calm, it was more soothing, and I really, I keep saying that, I really enjoyed it. Okay, let me say it again. I really enjoyed everyone I'm going to show you. I'm like, unless I tell you otherwise. So, alright, that's it for now. Alright, so right out the gate, just like I mentioned in the music in part 1 of this best of series, a friend of mine named Caden, who requested the Arthur and the Minimoys, he's a big fan of it, and he wanted more content, and he wanted some, you know, if I'm going to spoof it, he wanted somebody who was just as passionate to do it, and, you know, with the music videos and etc. But with this spoof, I tried to appeal to him. I'm like, you know what? I really love this movie too. So you know what? I'm gonna try to do as much fan service. I'm gonna try to, you know, touch on all the different like nitpicks that, you know, all fans have with this movie. I'm gonna also talk about the cuteness that we like, all the things we like, and I'm gonna try to subtly, you know, address all the awkward stuff as well. You know, so I'm like, especially like case in point right here, I bring up that there was. The director of all 3 movies decided to literally make a feature film version of a spaghetti pasta, whatever, it's creepy pasta video, where it was like a horror version of Arthur and the Invisibles or something, and he decided to make a movie of it instead of giving us a 4th movie. And I'm like, what were you thinking? Oh my gosh, that was so stupid. But yeah, I really love this movie. I watch it and it takes me back to when I was a kid, because like I lived in the country, so I got to be around, you know, bumblebees, tall grass, dandelions. I'm like, you know, so watching this movie, it's like it recaptures childhood, where you were a little kid playing in the front yard around the tall grass with your little action figures and your Hot Wheels and things like that. You know, I'm like, and it was a lot of fun. Oh, and stay tuned for my review. Yeah, I decided to give a review on it, basically, and it was going to feature Caden, but, you know, we just couldn't get our schedules aligned and everything else. And so I just couldn't get him on the horn. We couldn't really set it up just right. So, you know, it just kind of happens that way. But, yeah, this one was just a lot of fun, as I love making my spoofs, but it's not that often that I go, oh my gosh, I had a ball making this one. Oh man, this was so fun. And I had a lot of, you know, I really have a deep connection with it. So, which you're going to hear me repeat that in the near future. But anyway, okay. let's move on because I don't want to drag this one out as long. I'm gonna try not to, but like I said, we'll see. Okay, I know that I said I was gonna move on, but let me just state this. This one, I don't know if it was necessarily this particular spoof, but let me just address this right here. I hope that you all enjoy the little moments where I stop the video, kind of stop it, and have like a little pop up here, like a little fun fact thing pop up, or stuff like that. Because I thought about, it would change it up a bit in the format of the spoofs if I could actually, like, it's not a review, but it's more like okay, let me just do like a little fun fact, try to educate people, and stuff like that, because I thought it was kind of informative and a little entertaining. You let me know what you think about that. Also, I would like to acknowledge that there's a kind of a bit of it's a reputation I have where there's certain moments in a spoof where the spoof is not really telling a joke, it's playing music over a scene, and when that happens, it's because it's not necessarily meant to be a joke always. It's more so meant to be like telling, like giving an idea. Like, okay, they're riding a moth. I'm playing the Mothra theme from, Godzilla versus Mothra, that sort of thing. That's the joke. And the running joke here that I did a couple times where it was like the dare against drugs thing, that was a thing back in the 90s. If you were unaware, it was basically something trying to teach kids the dangers of drug and alcohol abuse, and the whole thing stood for I think it was distract against real I can't think right now. Anyway, okay, look, it's on my community page or whatever that explains the dare thing, but yeah, anyway, all you need to know is it was a drug-free joke because, I'm straight edge. I don't do drugs or alcohol. I never have, never will. And yes, I include pot, marijuana, yes, my mother and I've known people who have smoked weed in the past, but I don't care what excuse you give me. I'm not putting the stuff in my system. Look, I'm already killing myself with soda, all right? So, anyway, okay. Hope those jokes weren't too obnoxious. The whole dare jokes, I hope they weren't getting too obnoxious because I kind of did it for a good while in several spoofs. But just so you know, I tried to back off of doing that so much, but it was just, the opportunity just kept arising to do it. So I'm like, let me just keep doing this until I don't have another opportunity to do it, so. Anyway, all right, moving on. Okay, and because I am getting a little bit of Avatar/Pandora fatigue at this point of this recording, I'm not going to be long at all on this one. Bottom line, I had the most fun with this video by doing the Save the Whales joke. With the whole, well, it's a big whale. Let me know if y'all would like me to actually do a parody song where I write the actual lyrics that would actually, basically write an actual original song called Big Whale. Let me know if y'all would like me to actually do that, and I'll do it. But y'all gotta let me know, because if not, I'm like, okay, well, I could tell that's not something that y'all want to see. Anyway, the end credits where they play where I play the Cheech and Chong song, Save the Whales. I'm like, that's my favorite part of the whole video. The Here Comes Rodan joke, I'll admit, is not that funny because he's not Rodan. The whole joke is that it's a big giant bird, flying in, and the fact that he kind of looks very pterosaur-like because the big, leather rubber-like wings, but that's about it. Anyway, this video was a lot of fun. I got to poke fun at the second movie that I don't really care for all that much. I think it's okay, but I'm alright with it. Got to poke fun at it. It was fun. First movie, I didn't really have too many jokes about it, but whatever. I will say that, which I mentioned this in my review of Avatar 3, Kiri making the joke, get away from her, you bitch! That whole thing, that was ironic because I was making fun of her because it was Sigourney Weaver as a 14-year-old girl, but it was 80-year-old 70, 80-year-old woman coming out of a 14-year-old girl's body. So, yeah, that was really disturbing. And it just gets worse in the third movie. But anyway, they do that joke in the third movie. But it's worse. It's cringy. It's forced. And people are already calling them cat people, like blue cat people. So whenever she goes, "Get away from my mother," pause, 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 bitch, pause, pause, like she does just like that. I'm not kidding. Sigourney Weaver literally mouths the word and says the word "row." Like says the noise "row." Doesn't make the meow noise. She just goes "row." I'm like, oh my gosh. I feel like Hotel Transylvania. Did you actually say growl? I'm like, oh, yeah. Anyway, okay. Moving on from Avatar, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now a spoof I really enjoyed doing, aside from the Avatar one, because I know I had a bunch of critiques about the Avatar movie, but the spoof was a lot of fun, and I did enjoy doing it. Now, the Christmas spoof, aka Spoof Soup 6, of this past Christmas was a load of fun because I had discovered this parody song. Instead of "Down with the Sickness," somebody did one where it was "Down with the Christmas." And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this because there's no cursing. There's no, swearing or anything like that. It's just, get up, come on, get down with the Christmas. And then also I got to parody, the Casper Christmas movie. That was a lot of fun. I'll admit, not every joke works in this. Like this whole joke here with the whole Osmosis Jones, Casper Haunted Christmas. Like the whole punchline was, I was in the crack because the guy literally, look, like right here, just like, yeah, I was wanting him to go, I was in the crack. That was the punchline. Execution-wise, it could have been done better, probably. I'll admit it, not every joke's going to land, not every joke's going to be executed properly, so, I do what I can. I work with what I got. One of my favorite jokes in the entire thing, which is right here, is the Rudolph Eon Big Ben joke. I'm like, instead of going, well, it's a big well, I did a slight change of that. Now I'm like, well, it is Big Ben. It is Big Ben, Ben the Whale. I'm like that. I love Big Ben. He's my favorite freaking Christmas classic character. Not like above everybody, but he's definitely one of my favorites. I'm like, I love his laugh. Yeah. Like that little thing. I just love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, I love it. I love Christmas. But yeah, the whole Christmas, down with the Christmas thing, I do that at the end of this spoof with the what's that name of the movie? Holy Night or something like that, or Sleigh Night or something. I can't remember right now. I can't think. But anyway, that was kind of fun. Yeah, and like hit me in the face with a shovel. I'm like, oh my gosh, that I love that bit. And I'm Santa Claus, damn it. Okay, I'm gonna go on too much about this. But anyway, all right, let's move on. I love this spoof. Alrighty, here we go. The Fantastic Four. Yeah, you all know by now I love the Fantastic Four. I love the original two movies, and by original I mean the ones that came out in 2000. I think the Hammer film was alright. It was fun. It was okay. Could have been worse. I even make a joke in here later where I say drive-by review, where do a very quick like clip show review basically of all the adaptations of Fantastic Four movies. Like the first one was like, it's like could have been worse. Then like the second two was it could be fun, and then like the third one, which came out called Fan Four Stick, it's like crap. And then like how bad is it? Because like the first steps hadn't been released just yet and I hadn't seen it just yet. So I'm like, okay, could this work? And I have no idea. Long story short, you want the review? It's okay. I'm like, it's okay. That's the extent of it. I might do a short version review where like I'll air a short video like on YouTube Shorts or something like that where I give a punchline. But this right here, awesome. Ben Grimm stopping the truck. Yes, it's awesome. Yes, I love it. And people want to throw off on this movie because it's like, oh my gosh, like he hurt that guy in the truck, he caused the wreck. Yeah, he caused the wreck because this dude tried to freaking jump or whatever, then he got scared and fell, so he was doing it to save the guy's life. It's like people ignore the entire picture so they could just make their own jokes. I know that's like probably exactly what they do, but Yeah, it's like they just want to form this one little narrative, so they basically ignore everything else just to go, oh, that's offensive, that was stupid, you know. And I'm like, okay. Anyway, and like another joke I did here, Supernova, because Godzilla Supernova still, as of this recording, has not come out yet. So, because I thought it would be out sooner, but it hasn't come out just yet of this recording. Anyway, and also this little joke here where I make a Dungeons and Dragons or D&D as the fans of D&D would call it. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Honestly, I assume roll for initiative is a good call because I've heard it said in other parodies. I've just never played it and I do not know the rules, so I apologize. But man, this makes me hungry. That's a good looking burger. Needs to be chicken though. Everybody know I like chicken. Anyway, alrighty, let's see here. Let's move on. Alrighty, now this one was a lot of fun because my first thought was, okay, I can do a music video for James and Giant Peach, and I did a poll, and everyone wanted me to do it, so I'm like, okay. Plus, I had the idea that, I'm doing this for a friend of mine named James, who has a channel called Pages to Pictures, and he did do a review of comparing the book to the movie of James and the Giant Peach, and he has a strong relationship with the movie as well, like it was part of his childhood and everything. He loves both adaptations, the book and the movie. So my main thought was, he's gonna love this. I'm gonna bring up the fan fiction. What the heck? No, I'm gonna give the fan service is what I'm saying. I'm gonna bring in some fan service to basically point out this was clearly a passion project for me because I'm like, I love the movie. I grew up with it. I could still remember borrowing it from my school library and literally not wanting to give it back because I would watch it all the time. I love this movie, and I love James's video, Pages to Pictures, of James and Giant Peach. Unfortunately, he didn't really get a lot of the jokes, and he felt that it was more of a review rather than a spoof, so I feel like maybe I failed in making a spoof in that regard. Now, does that mean I don't enjoy the video? No. I love what I did. I love this spoof and how it came out. I thought it was a beautiful balance of acknowledging certain nitpicks of the movie, acknowledging, certain fun facts about the movie. Also, I felt the need as a fan of the movie to explain the freaking rhino in the clouds. Because it's like, in the movie, it's kind of confusing. We think that the rhino, I'm not going to get into this too much, but we think, in the movie makes it look like the rhino in the sky ate his parents, and that's not what happened in the book. What happened was a real rhinoceros ate his parents. Yes, you heard that right. Herbivore ate bloody meat. Now, he wrote it that way because he said it's more horrific to see something that doesn't eat meat eat meat. That's his whole point of doing it. Was it stupid? In my opinion, yes. But in the movie, they didn't do that. But I felt the need to kind of make that distinction, explain that. So I did. But, I might... maybe he'll go back and watch it one day, and maybe, he'll watch it with fresh eyes and actually really enjoy it. I hope so. Or, bottom line, I hope everybody enjoyed this video, because I had a blast making it. I love the movie, and it was a good passion project and a lot of fun I had with this video. I had a lot of fun making it. I had a lot of fun making the little tidbits here, like this right here, fun fact, with the whole sponge and stuff. I thought that was kind of fun, it wasn't just a typical spoof, because sometimes you watch a spoof, or sometimes you watch a review, and you have questions, or sometimes you'll be like, hey, I wonder if they're going to acknowledge this, and they don't do it, because a lot of times the people doing a review, if they hate the movie, they will hate it, and they don't worry about the facts, because they just want to make fun of it. Or if it's a spoof, they just spoof it, they're not worried about adding all this stuff. But I'm like, I give you the best of both worlds in this video. That's the way I see it. Now, anyway, moving on though. This spoof here was a long time in the making because I kept saying I would do it, and then I kept pushing it back and pushing it back and pushing it back, and then finally I did it, and it came out around the time whenever the Lilo and Stitch live action movie came out, and the buzz around that was that it was not very good. I agree. It was not a good adaptation. I agree. It was stupid, especially the whole meaning of Ohana being completely rewritten and meaning about being selfish. Basically, product of the times of today's world. You know, in today's world, basically, thinking about yourself is most important. I'm like, you know, somewhere along the lines, I think people, you know, just misunderstood the whole point of thinking of yourself first. Like, put yourself first. It's like the whole point of putting yourself first is, you know, you can, if you make sure you're okay, you can be okay to help other people, but that doesn't mean stop caring about other people and just worry about yourself. It's like they just warped it. Anyway, okay, moving on. This joke here, where he's like, I heard that. I'm like, there's no way he didn't. No way. I'm like, he's like only a few feet from the door at that point. But, and then this part here, oh, I hate it so much how she gets in trouble in the movie, and it's that whole stupid thing of, well, she's a repeat offender. This has happened numerous times. What about Myrtle? She's not a repeat offender at this point. She's clearly the freaking snotty little bully. But let's be honest here. What's going down here is that in the sequel, Lilo and Stitch 2 Stitches a Glitch, you find out that her dad is a salesman, or is a guy who basically is constantly trying to, he's a salesman basically, and he's constantly trying to get money and stuff. I wonder if he's contributing to the school, and the teacher is like letting her get away with a lot of stuff because her daddy's like a promoter of the school or something. I wouldn't put it past that, because he never ever reprimands that girl. Ever. And I'm like, and Lilo with this cute little voice, I just want to dance, reminds me of my niece. And I'm like, I'd give that teacher a piece of my mind. I'm like, dude, I don't care how big you are. I don't care. I don't care how calm you are. But I'm like, you idiot. Anyway, okay. This spoof though, it was a lot of fun, and I repeat that so often because, hey, I'm acknowledging this is the best of Leowolf TV season 9 in my opinion. Of course I'm going to point out how I enjoyed it and had a lot of fun. So I do apologize if I'm doing that too much, though. I'm trying. It's like I don't have much of a vocabulary, but I don't really. But I try. I'm trying to get it bigger. Anyway, head on apply directly to the forehead. Another running joke here in the land of Leowolf TV. Anyway, I couldn't really think of too many jokes for this before I even made it. Like, I was trying to, I'm like, what can I do? I'm like, I could do some jokes where I talk for Stitch, because I could do a good Stitch voice, you know. I'm like, but what else could I do? So this is just one of them things where it's like, okay, I just got to watch the whole movie and make a list, which obviously... But sometimes, you know, I can make a spoof because I've already got the jokes in my head, and that's it. And that's all I'll do. But this, I'm like, I tried to, like, you know, make jokes here and there, but not every joke landed. Oy. My niece, she really got a kick out of me singing our chicken song that we wrote together. She got a kick of me singing that song as Stitch, like, chicken, and you know it is my favorite dish, chicken, and you know it is delicious. You know, she got a big kick out of that. Unhand me, demon, get away. Like, she's like, he's so calm. Like, because the way I delivered it, she's like, it was like you were so calm when you said that. Get away. Anyway. Yeah, this was loads of fun. I love Lilo and Stitch. So does my niece. And I love Elvis. So it was wonderful. This joke here, it being Monster, you know, being Michael Jackson's Monster or whatever, like the song Monster. I thought it'd be kind of funny if Nani was hearing a song where he's like, I'm singing Monster, and she already thinks he's a monster. That was the punchline. I couldn't come up with anything better than that. And this here again, once again, you see a song playing over the scenes. It's not really conveying a joke. It's more like doing something clever. That's what my spoofs are. I try to make them funny, but I also try to make them clever. The problem is whenever it's all clever and no funny. That's whenever it's that's whenever I've messed up and I didn't do something right. So, but anyway, love this video. Love Lilo and Stitch. Moving on. This was a lot of fun to do this one because it was touching on some controversial topics such as Snow White. Yeah, I made the joke of like, what if they were watching Snow White, the live action version, well, that live action version, and what if it was like the Gremlins destroyed it? You know, I thought that'd be kind of funny. That was me just going like, there, I made a joke about Snow White, you know, because at the time I didn't make the Snow White spoof just yet, you know, so, and even that one was pretty tame compared to what other people have said about the movie. And Wicked, I hate the movie, I hate the story, I hate the whole freaking franchise of Wicked because it's garbage, pretentious fan fiction of one of my favorite stories ever, The Wizard of Oz. So, yeah, I don't like it at all, so I was really keen on poking fun at the movie. And I took a lot of shots at Cynthia Erivo's character because I did not like her little ho 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 ho. I'm like, that's not how the note is normally done, so I'm like, it sounds like Tarzan to me, so I poke fun at that. Now, do I have anything really against Cynthia Erivo as a person? Here's the thing, I don't know her. I just know what other people have said. I know how she acts in on screen from what she presents herself as, but I don't know her personally, and so I'm not going to say I don't like the woman. I don't like doing that because it's not fair. So, I didn't care for the movie. Anyway, moving on, the Nosferatu stuff, everybody hates that movie. Everyone thinks it's gross, it's disturbing, it's dark, it's twisted, it's perverted, especially. And me and my sister, when we watched it, we died laughing because it looked like he was, you know, straight up dry humping him as he drank blood from him, which is just, Anyway, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Let's move on. When it came time to do the Addams Family spoof, my main thought was, how funny would it be if I could use Bison's lines, because he filmed both movies around the same time period before, well, in the same, I think in the same year, or at least in the same 3 years, and he was, you know, battling cancer and everything, but, which, we lost him far too soon. This was a beautiful, amazing actor, especially the way he would talk with that specific tone, and then how he could go so soft. I can't do his voice, but man, what a national treasure he is. But and was for that matter. But I thought it'd be hilarious if I could just use Bison's lines, and I was amazed on how many lines he said that I'm like, oh wow, I could use so many. Like Doctor, and there is Dr. Penderschloss in here, you know, like stuff like that was a lot of fun. And then like the whole "you dare to interfere," you know, like it was a lot of fun with that. That is the biggest standout for me. This was just, again, I had a lot of fun doing the cuts and everything. I just had a lot of fun with this. I mean, nothing really more to really go into. Okay, I managed to keep it under 30 minutes this time, but not by too much. I think the next one, I think part 3, is going to be a lot shorter because I'm going to talk about certain skits, or I think I might be able to keep it around the same time, but let me know if y'all would like to hear my least favorite videos of Season 9, because I do have a couple of them where I'm like, this was okay, but I'm not that crazy about it. Like, I can watch it and like one thing I did, but the rest of them was a little desperate, you know, and I'm like, they were okay. Like, one comes to mind is a couple of the Pirates of the Caribbean ones. I think part 2 of Middle Earth spoof, which was Lord of the Rings. You know, that sort of thing. So, with all that being said, leave it in the comment section if you'd like me to do a worst of Leowolf TV Season 9. We're just going to call it that. It's shorter. I think I'll do that. I think we won't do part 3 of Best of. I think we're just going to go forth and do a worst of Leowolf TV Season 9. What do y'all think? Like, let me know if y'all'd like to see that video. Get my 2 cents on, like, what I did that even I have to, like, kind of cringe at, and I'm like, oh, that was bad. Ugh. And just because I think it's bad does not mean I'm necessarily going to take it down or necessarily going to reboot it or remaster it. Unless I have help with somebody else, I'll remaster it and reboot it. So, alright, farewell wherever y'all fare. May God bless, and I'll see y'all next time on Leowolf TV.